Alright, so as promised in this video, we're going to talk about persistence. We're going to set up a persistent meterpreter service. And so we can do some cool stuff with this. Again, the only downside to it is if there is antivirus enabled, it will detect it. At least if it's a decent antivirus today, it should detect it. But hopefully you would be able to disable that antivirus by some of the techniques that we used earlier. So to run persistence, we need to get into Meterpreter. Now, I've already got from the last video, I already have a session right here, number 2, on my XP machine. So I'm going to migrate to that, sessions-I. I'm going to interact, I should say, with number 2. And so now I'm in Meterpreter. So to get an idea of what this persistence, the commands and that sort of thing, we can do a run persistence. We can do a -H, and this should show us the help file, or of all of the different commands and stuff that we can use. There we go. We're going to use a few different commands. We're going to use a capital A. We're going to use a capital L. We're going to use the capital X, and we're going to use the capital I, and of course the P and the R. A lot of different stuff here. So let's go ahead and just type this out, and then we'll talk about it here in just a second. So we're going to do a run persistence. We're going to do a capital A space capital L, and we need to specify the location. So I'm going to do just a C : 2 backslashes. And we'll talk about that in a second. Capital X, capital I. We're going to go ahead and do like a number 20, P, and we'll go ahead and do, we'll do all 9s this time, 9999. That way if my port is already in use, I don't want there to be any issues. And -R. So 192.168.1.101. So let's look at this. The capital A automatically start a matching multi-handler to connect to the agent. Capital L, where is that? There it is. Location and target host to write your payload to. If none, the temp folder is going to be used. Which we are specifying just the C drive, but you can change that to whatever one you want, or just leave it blank. The X, let's take a look at that, automatically start the agent when the system boots. So in addition to this one, which is, let's look at -I, the interval in seconds between each connection attempt. So 20 seconds. Every 20 seconds it's going to try to connect to me. In addition to that, the X on boot, it's going to try and connect to me. So we've got both of those going on. That's pretty aggressive, but you should do it when it boots, so that it starts up when it boots. Otherwise it may not start. And then after that, every 20 seconds. So it seems aggressive, but it makes sense. If we don't start it at boot, then this isn't going to run. So we want it to run. -P, that's going to be the port on the remote host where Metasploit is listening. So we're going to listen on port 9999. And obviously -R, the IP of the system running, Metasploit listening for the connect back. That's our L host. That's our Kali machine. Hopefully all of that makes sense. So once this, let's go ahead and run this and see what happens. And hopefully it's successful, as long as we've typed everything in correctly. And what this is going to do is it's going to create that Visual Basic script. And here we go. There we go. Awesome. We can see that where it installed in the registry. Current version run, and gave us this thing here. And look at this, Meterpreter session 3 opened. So it's already catching the session. And every 20 seconds it's going to keep connecting back to us. So again, agent executed with PID 3320. We can obviously migrate to the process, look up this PID and see what process that is. Here's the script. This script, obviously, there it is, Visual Basic script. That right there is what would flag that antivirus, and it's automatically started our multi-handler. So if I hit enter it brings me back to Meterpreter, and I can do a sessions. Actually, we background this, and I can do a sessions-L, and there we go. There's our third Meterpreter session. So we've got one session open on port 8888, and we've got the new one open on all 9s. Let's go ahead and look at that XP machine, and we can see that everything looks completely normal. No alerts or anything. So if we had some antivirus on here, it would obviously flag that VBS script. We would have more success with doing the last video of running, adding this in just the command prompt instead of doing all this other stuff. But this one has its perks too. So anyhow, what else can we do with this? Sessions, we can obviously do a -I, migrate to number 3, and now we're in. Let's do a get UID, NT authority system, and it should have probably migrated. Let's see what PID 3320 is. PS 3320 csscript.exe. It stuck it in system 32, so that may be also flagged as well. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and do an exit. Now let's try something a little bit different. Let's say that our XP machine is turned off. In fact, let's just restart it. Now my handler, I need to set the L port. I'm already on my handler here. Set L port to 9999. Remember that. Show options. There we go. All these are already set. So I'm going to go ahead and hit run. Oops. Address is already in use. Okay. So the way that I would need to fix this is I would need to shut down this Metasploit. It would close that, and then I can reopen it. Let's see what's going on over here. This one already has Metasploit running. So what I'm going to actually do is exit this. Exit and Y. There we go. And I'm out of Metasploit. Let's jump over here. We're going to use exploit, multi, and handler. Set L port. We're going to do 9999. Show options. And it doesn't say anything, but as we know, we can just hit run. Hopefully this will launch on 99. There we go, 9999. That one's working. And let's just sit here for a minute. Let's see what's going on over here. This one has started. We probably missed the initial boot, but every 20 seconds it should be trying to connect to us. There we go. It's already sending the stage. So I just had to wait like every 20 seconds. And we have our Meterpreter session. Awesome. Get UID. We are researcher this time. We're not the system authority. So get system. Let's see if we can grab this system. Come on. Got the system. Let's look at processes. And what are we? Get PID. We're 968. We are some weird looking exe file that is completely suspicious in the temp folder. We want to get away from that. Migrate. Let's do SVC host system. So let's do 1100. And successful. Awesome. Let's do another get UID. Actually, PS is what we want. And is that thing still running? I don't see it. You see that funky looking exe? I don't. So the faster we can get out of that, the faster we can migrate, the better it is for us, and it's not showing up anymore. Let's go back over here. And you see that it tells us that it you know, attempted a block or whatever. Which has nothing to do with what we just did. So, I mean, great job. I mean, that's just pretty crazy. Let's look at what it's been doing. It says that it's blocked 10 attempts. That's probably just from me restarting this computer so many times. Let's look at the logs. And it does mention svchost.exe blocked from executing through Windows script host. And January 14th, that was yesterday. Here's 15th. So it definitely, there's that funky exe thing. So it's telling us that it's blocking it, it's logging it, but obviously we're still in the system. It's not working very well. So anyways, I'm going to clear that out. That way anything else that we do, maybe that will monitor it. But anyhow, even with that thing on, still, I'm kind of disappointed with this anti-exploit thing because it's obviously not working very well. Anyways, guys, I'm not going to keep going on and on about it. I showed you what I wanted to show you with this particular video. Just beware of antivirus. That would be your only concern with that. So, hope you guys learned a lot from this video, and I will see you in the next.